Ladies and gentlemen, ROSTERMANIA is staying lit. 4 teams were basically, I'm spitting on myself, are basically confirmed. We're going to get into it in this video. Welcome to the 9,000 of you that have subscribed in the last 10 days. The channel is blowing up. You guys are loving the COD content. We're back here, 4th day in a row. Maven, I don't know how long the camera battery has. So
this is actually our second.
Don't expose me, dude. Let's get into the video right away. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Let's get into it. Maven, tell me how this all started, where we currently stand.
All right, so we said we want to cover 4 teams. Now, to preface this, nothing has been officially announced by organizations. Yes. This is just based from the rumor mill, but there seems to be quite a lot.
Process of elimination, certain tweets, certain streams.
Rewind to where it started. So the big thing that happened first, 3 players left Envy, or dropped from Envy, I guess you could say, and that was Apathy, John, JCap. And then immediately, pretty much right after, rumors started to circulate that Slasher was bringing back the team that they had at AW Worlds, which was Slasher, Classic, Hook, Temp. Yeah. Not confirmed, but with the other stuff that's come out, it's looking pretty likely.
Pretty damn likely.
What are your thoughts about that roster if that were to be a team?
We saw how much talent they had back in AW, right? This was a team that got second at that event. Completely different game, obviously. But Slasher's been great across multiple CODs. Classic has been fantastic across multiple CODs. Hook switched games, literally went to an entirely different game, went to the top of that scene and is most likely returning now. And Temp, as long as he keeps his mind in the game, doesn't tilt the teammates too much, which we know has been a complaint with him as a teammate in the past, I think they're going to be a very solid team.
I do. I think this is I don't put a lot of stock in the whole Jetpack player versus Boots player, because I know that would be a question for this team. Classic and Slasher kind of came up in Boots, but the other two, you know, they've been all known throughout the Jetpack CODs. Well, they came up in Ghost, you could say, so they didn't really have a lot of experience. I don't care. I think if you're good at COD, you're good at COD. I think this team is a lock for like a top 4 team for me. I think they have a chance to be in a top 2 conversation down the road. Now, I could be way off, but I think there's so much talent on this team, it's hard for me to undervalue it right now. I think they're going to be incredible.
And one thing I want to take note of, too, I read through almost all 800 comments on the last video, so again, give your guys' thoughts. There were some great discussions in the comments. It's been all over the place. Let's keep this going, though. The next big team, the rumored FaZe team, which at this point, everyone's agreed that there's a change coming. The question has been, who will remain? Will it be an entirely different roster? Where will this team stand? For me, it's pretty damn set in stone, especially because of where the other rosters are now falling and rumored. That Attach and Zuma remain on this team. Replays we know has been the hinted, and the 4th was the big question, but at this point it's all but confirmed on who it is.
Well, we basically said right away when we heard Replays, young talent would make sense. Like a young gunner in this scenario I think would be fantastic. And now we hear about Priesta, and there have been tweets from pro players sort of kind of confirming it, or at least enough that we were fine talking about it, because it's been all over the place. Let's just talk about how, I guess first, I want your thoughts just overall as this team, because it's the one, I think, of the rosters that have leaked, the one that's probably been taking the most flack from the community.
Oh, absolutely. And for sure. People on Reddit, FaZe fans were saying, like, this doesn't feel like the roster of, you know, players that are remaining, like, of all the talent that's out there. People were calling it, like, a team that felt like leftovers, and that's got to be motivating if you're some of the guys on FaZe to prove, like, wow, these people are not only wrong, but we know what we're doing with this team. You know, there are a lot of talent out there, but to pick this roster, they know what they're doing. They have 2 world champions in this lineup. They've obviously got very talented players across the board. Priest is someone that I think is absolutely wants to learn. Has had great mentors in the past. Will continue to have great mentors on this team. They're bringing him through the Replays training camp is basically what I would assume.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the concern is just because of Priesta, but I think people didn't really get to see his true potential last year. There's a reason that pro players hyped him up so much. There's a reason we consider him to be one of the, if not the breakout player from last year, at least on a short list. I think Priesta is going to be a phenomenal player, and I'm okay with taking maybe a quote-unquote risk on young talent. I mean, we know that FaZe in the past, they kept a roster together for like 2 years, so this is something you're going to build on, and like you said, you have an old leader, you have a young player.
Pupper!
I'm good with it. Puppies are getting excited. But
no, they're just excited about ROSTERMANIA.
Yes, they are. Puppies get very excited about Call of Duty.
Yeah, well, that's the damn truth. Moving on forward, the one team that we've actually gotten a tweet about, ironically enough, is a team that kind of caught everyone off guard when it wound up coming to the Aches team. The no-org Aches team right now, they're currently in the midst of finalizing things, searching for orgs. Aches, Enable, Nameless, and Apathy. Talk about a stacked lineup that can make some noise. Or
Yes, they can. I have a plethora of concerns though. One, obviously it's a phenomenally AR heavy team, which may work early in games, but your only real sub player right now on that roster, I would say, is Apathy. Yeah. Yes, Aches has done it, but he hasn't done it for years. I mean, we're talking since Ghost. So, do I think he's all of a sudden going to come out and dominate with a sub again? I don't personally. That would be one question I have. Then the biggest concern I actually have. I think too many leaders, too many voices. You have Enable who tried to take over, bumped heads with Clay. Aches, we know, wants to be the
Aches is a leader?
He wants to be, and he can be. We know Nameless has played that role on rosters as well.
Yes.
I think Apathy is the only guy that's probably okay taking the back seat, but you've got 3 guys that I just imagine those are their heads. But at the same time, would I be shocked if they're playing in a top 4, top 3? The potential's there, but I picture this not going as well as maybe some others do.
I'm going to put it simply. This is Aches' last straw. This is it. If this team doesn't work, he's back on boots. He's got veterans surrounding him again. He's back as a hot priority, a hot topic in the community. If Aches can't do it now, then you just set him off like a Viking funeral. Put him in the thing, set him out to sea.
He should focus on taking about 100 steps a map and L trigger 90% of the time. He'll see success.
But there you go. Tips from Coach Maven.
I think it's going to be interesting. I don't know. It could go I think it's got a great ceiling and a very, very low floor for me. So let's talk about the last one.
And this final team that we're going to talk about is kind of putting pieces together, looking at this. Obviously, this team's changing. We know this team's changing.
Because the rumors just started last night, but I don't think we would talk about it too much unless it made so much sense with the rest of it. Like you're saying, like the pieces of the puzzle seem to be coming together. But I believe it was what? It was one of the streams. I can't remember even who was streaming. I saw it on Reddit, but there were some conversations that happened, led a lot of viewers to start thinking this was going to be the next roster for Luminosity. And the names that were mentioned were Octane, Slacked, JCap, and John. Oof. And I mean, when you take a look at the rest of the rosters that are rumored to be coming together, this falls in line with that.
We know that, JCap and John, they were the first piece of the puzzle with those 3 Envy players kind of going into free agency. Octane and Slacked, they get, quote-unquote, we'll see, left behind by Classic as he goes to the rumored Envy team. That then leaves, that trio there. And if JCap and John talk about a duo that have proved that they can do some big things, and Octane and Slacked, a duo that can literally probably kill for the entire team in slang power, I'm excited. I think of all the rosters you just mentioned, I think I'm most excited about this team in Envy.
I tend to agree with you for one main reason. Where I thought there was a very lack of balance in the last roster we talked about with Aches and them, I think this really looks good on paper from a balance standpoint. In the sense that you have that kind of AR slayer. In Octane, you have a slower placed veteran leader AR player. In JCap, you have the do-it-all sub like Slack that'll get in the hard point, make objective plays. And then John, who can do that, or just flat out raw slay with a sub. So I just think we're the last team, I didn't really see that balance. I really do see it here. But at the same time, I don't know. I mean, we're going back to boots. It's going to be interesting. I think we're kind of throwing darts. We're guessing right now.
There's all sorts of stuff going on. There's all sorts of stuff.
Just looking at the names, I like it.
Yeah, I think that this is a team with a ton of potential, obviously.
And again,
champions.
None of this is confirmed. None of this is confirmed. This is all rumor, speculation, and puzzles being put together.
Hell, we got this off a Reddit comment with 50 upvotes and realized that actually makes a lot of sense. Let's talk about it. So, these are the 4 teams that we're talking about today. The rumored Envy team of Slasher, Hoop, Classic Attempt. The rumored FaZe team of Zuma, Attach, Replays, and Priesta. The rumored LG team of Octane, Slack, JCap, and John. The rumored Aches, well, not rumored, but the Aches team with no org yet of Aches, Enable, Nameless, and Apathy. Let us know your thoughts on those teams. But that's not all the stuff going on right now. There are still some big-name free agents out there, some now coming to light, some thinking of coming into the fray, and a potential team that's sticking together.
Well, I think the first names you have to consider are the ones that come in the aftermath of this. Like you have Nagafin was still on EG with Nameless. If this proves true, Nagafin
he did tweet yesterday. He tweeted yesterday saying,
which also
time to form a team.
Yeah, I mean that puts credibility. Obviously, Aches has already tweeted.
Call me
so, and then the other one, Gunless. Obviously, he joins the FaZe roster. You're hearing all this stuff about FaZe.
A little bit of a name from last year.
Yeah, Gunless would be a big one. And then we'll talk about Dashy. I know you were really big on the Dashy train coming out last year.
For that Saints.
Oh, it's true.
Saints as well. Saints can be added to that list as well of the rumored teams that are switching. Where does Saints go? Hell, you put those 3 together and you've got yourself a pretty solid core team. Computer! But yeah, so
our effects are insane.
Oh, we're big production here.
Some of the best production
we have a stool that you're sitting on. I'm sitting on a step ladder, dude. That's called high budget, folks. But no, moving forward, you talked about Dashy.
Because one of our AGL Halo events.
Yeah, okay, throwing out the roasts. Dashy, young talent. We've already talked in the previous videos about Hook, about Tev, about TJ Haley. I'm putting Dashy right in that list, and right now, where's Dashy currently stand? Who knows?
I haven't really heard anything with regards to him, but do I expect big things from him? Yeah, I mean, we've heard mixed stuff. We've heard, yeah, he's super talented. Yeah, he doesn't always listen. Yeah, he's young. I think he's...
Have a brain, Dashy. You'll do well for yourself.
I think he's got too much talent not to make some plays.
Another name from Europe that announced today that they're looking for a new team, Urban, the pistol god himself.
Yeah, the European Nagafin.
The European Nagafin.
Probably better than Nagafin.
At this point, you got to think, you know, he said he was playing the long game, which I don't know if I agree with. I don't know where that stands. He's saying, we still got 2 months till the game. I'm going to take my time, find the best roster.
Where do we still have... Is there still a hole on Epsilon, correct? I mean, Josh was dropped,
yes,
but that still has not been filled. I'll be honest, I have no idea who's... I guess, like, Raider would make sense. Maybe an Urban type player does. I think both of those are...
There's so many opportunities and so much stuff going on. Another player that we thought was having a team beginning to get formed, there was rumored that, you know, he would be working with Gunless, was Parasite. But he tweets last night, team plans fall through, looking for options. And then who replies? But Nade shot with the eyes emoji, we doing this,
Nade
boy.
Parasite, that would be fun.
Imagine Nade shot. I mean, they did team for like 48 hours together like 3 years ago.
That's true. Oh, hey, there is one thing I want to touch on though, real quick.
Touch it.
I want to get your opinion though. When we broke down those teams, you know, I was thinking about it earlier, and I think there was a video about it too. But like, who does this help the most? Like all these team changes, who does this help the most? Optic Gaming.
Oh yeah, Carmen talked about it in yesterday's vision.
Yeah, I was thinking about it before we even did a video, but yes, I mean that absolutely. Like, think about the teams that have given them the most trouble recently. A FaZe team, and they stuck together for like ever. Indy, who is together forever. The trio that was on LG that stuck together through Rise, and like all the teams that have given them the most trouble have been the teams that have really kind of stuck it out, I think. Now you've just got a bunch of new teams. Like,
Well, remember,
wasn't it like these is going to be Optic?
Wasn't it like our top 4 were all the teams that stuck together for the whole year? Rise, LG, Envy, and OG were the 4 teams that stuck together from day 1 to then.
And I'm not saying that's always the key to success, but it's part of it. And yes, it goes hand in hand with the fact that usually if you're doing well, you stick together. Yeah. But if you're an Optic Gaming fan,
you're feeling pretty good.
Keep it up, ROSTERMANIA.
Yeah, right.
What do we shuffle again?
They're eating their Chipotle and enjoying themselves. Yeah. But no, finally, I want to touch on another NA team that we haven't really talked about too much, but looking like they're sticking together. Ghost Gaming.
It's true.
They're living in that nice house in LA.
We mentioned Enigma Face yesterday.
Posting selfies.
Now Ghost. Yeah, we haven't really heard anything. The guys are working hard, and I think they were very impressive at the end of last year. Certainly, they seem dedicated. They have an org that's dedicated. I'm excited to see what they can do.
I think that there's a lot of stuff going on. I think it's lit. ROSTERMANIA nowhere near close to being done. Maven is leaving for vacation tomorrow for a wedding, for his best bud's wedding.
Going to Punta and I'll be on a beach.
I'm going to keep making moves on ROSTERMANIA. I'm currently in the works of setting up...
I'm going to miss you.
I need a therapist now. Okay, I'm currently in the midst of setting up an episode with a video interview of a pro player currently involved in the hectic ROSTERMANIA to record and have up. Might even throw up a little graphic in here. I don't know. It'll be over Maven's head again. But it's lit. It's exciting. Thank you guys so much for the subs. Again, the biggest 3 days we've ever had on this YouTube channel. We're doing big things. We've got content planned on out. A new 2v2 S&D series with Attach. Uncle Jack's Funhouse, the in-depth one-on-one interview series where we get behind the scenes with the player. We already announced Clayster will be the first episode, but it's not always about Clayster. It's about James, behind the brand. Get excited. It's lit. Maven, I'm going to miss you.
I'm going to miss you too.
Thanks, buddy, for all the help with these.
I might cry. Can I cry now?
Let's end the video here.
Bye.